live. Okay. I'm John Peters, and you are?
Travis Winter.
Travis Winter with the Sheriff's Department here. Yeah, it's broken up here. I'm going to be doing computers and phones as computers, talking about these. He's going to be talking about the scams that he's run into and on there. I will probably talk about some things you don't understand. Just ignore me at that point. Okay, feel free. I'm used to being ignored. I have teenagers. So we'll go through that like that. And I'm just going to go through and do some of the things. Our idea is not to scare you. Okay? You're going to hear some things that will scare you, but the idea is to educate to know what to look for. Okay? Because it's like anything else, being safe is the best way to continue working with all the stuff that you're needing. Because a lot of us, we need to get on the computer, we need to get on our phones. VA requires a lot of it. You know, telemedicine, I've used telemedicine over the last couple of years. So that's kind of what we are working on right now. So I'm going to be giving some computer things, and he's going to be doing the others. Now, I'm just going to go through terms quickly, but I'm going to explain each term a little bit later. Okay? There's a lot of terms. Don't worry about memorizing them. Just be aware of when I get to the point of how to protect yourself from that problem, that you get that one. That's where we're working on right now. Now, just basically, the first one is called malware. That's all this crap that you get. Malware is everything. Melodious, whatever, malevolent. So a virus is basically a program that screws around with your computer. Okay? Spam, that's all that junk mail you get. Even in your inbox at the post office, that's a lot of that spam. But spam is stuff that you can kind of filter out a little bit. Phishing with a PH. That's when somebody tries to send you some information that tries to get you to give your personal information to them. That's what phishing is. Tries to get your information from you. Okay. Ransomware. That's a bad one. Okay. What it is they've gotten the virus into your computer. They've taken all of your information and put it in a code, and then you have to pay to get your pictures back. Okay, that's ransomware. It happened at a school I was teaching. It happened down in the Phoenix Police Department. Spyware. Somebody's got it into your phone. Somebody's got it into your tablet. Somebody's got it into your computer. And they're watching everything that you're doing. Worm is a virus that finds all of your computers in a room and tries to infect each one of them. It worms its way through them. And adware, that's when you get all these little pop-ups on your screen that tries to sell you something. And scareware. Scareware is where they pop up on your screen and they say you have 5,255,265 viruses on your computer. You've been completely hacked. They may freeze your screen, and what they're trying to do is get you to send money, or so they can take over your computer. That's scareware. And phone scams, which is right there. Okay. Not that you're the phone scammer. Okay. No. So. Anyway, so that's kind of what the stuff I'm going to be talking about. I'll try to get through it quick because he's got a lot of information that affects everybody too. So as I go along here, malware, basically a general term for all the bad things that happen. It's all underneath the thing called malware. Virus. Okay? Create other programs to install malware. A virus is something bad to your computer. It can screw it up, it can slow it down, or you can have, I've been using another computer programming here. Okay, so it's something in a program. It can also slow down your computer, and where you can catch it is running a program from the web. So you go on the web, you download a program, you think it's really nice. It's, let's just say it is a program that helps you put together a tractor parts, clean the carburetor, but it's a program that sets you through, or it could be a recipe book, stuff like that. But if it doesn't come from a legitimate source, it could have some privacy. Running a program from an email. Don't run programs from emails. I'm going to say don't. Okay? Don't. Okay, so when you get a program in an email that you want to run it, and it can be simply, they say, oh, read this invoice, and it's really a program that's giving you a virus. Okay? Or here are pictures. Somebody is pretending to be me. And also another thing, I get this email that says, hey, you've got to look at these pictures that we took of you guys last weekend. And it's a program that installs crap on your computer or your phone. Okay, from a flash drive on there, I've got a flash drive in my pocket. This is called a flash drive. Okay, a flash drive is an external disk drive. It can be this size. It could be this size or it could be that size. But what happened is,
you don't need that size.
You know,
wow, isn't that amazing?
okay. So, and guess what? His might hold more information on that than this one has, because the size doesn't make a difference on the physical size. But that was actually from a flash drive. Happened. It was actually the first one was actually created by a joint effort by the Israeli and the U.S. government. They created a flash drive that an Iranian scientist picked up and ran. He was in the nuclear program there, and it screwed up their nuclear program for a couple of years. So, but then it got out in the wild and started screwing up our stuff. So we learned how to do it. But that's mistakes like that. One of the biggest things that you have is an anti-malware program or an antivirus program. You have to have one that works. Windows Defender is good for most of you people that have a computer, but it's not the best. That's one of the things. Here's two things I offer free as a service. Is one, if you're not sure about a program, if it's bad or good, call me. 612-419-4033. Okay. If you think that you're infected, call me. If you think something else has happened, call me. I'll give advice. Sometimes I even give good advice. Just don't ask my kids when they were teenagers. Nothing was good advice to them. So, but you need that type of stuff. And if you wanted help decide for you what the best antivirus program is for you, I can give advice there. I don't sell anything. I do get a couple of them wholesale. I don't sell anything. I don't spam. Everybody gets spam. In your mailbox at home, on your computer, when you're in. Or as far as the computer is concerned, you can get spam from Facebook. And you'll get the ads coming up on this side. A lot of that are not anything important. So it's just unanswered, unwanted advertising. Now, I think everybody that has a computer has maybe looked at, let's say, Amazon or YouTube, Craigslist, and they say, oh, I'm looking at this special pillow. The next thing you know, you start getting advertisements for pillows, stuff like that. You can block some of that, but not necessarily all. You get email too, a lot of it email. Okay, web page notifications. I'm going to talk about this probably about 4 times before I'm done. Turn it over here. Notification that these things that pop up on your screen and it says, this, that, the other things that could be, try to get you to click on something, try to sell you something. And it just stops you from doing all your work. Okay? And what, first thing is, the only notifications I allow on my computer is when I get a new email or my wife wants to get a hold of me. You know, the two things, you know, one of them is important for my work, the other one is important for me to live when I get home. So, and so we go through there. Now, you'll get a message. A little box pops up, could be on your tablet, could be on your tablet, could be on your computer. It pops up and it says, do you want to allow us to send notifications? Just say no on almost all of them. Because it builds a list of things that you can get all these notifications from. I had a customer sitting at Valley View up in Mount Prairie. She said yes to all the quilting things, and it ended out that she was getting more notifications about quilting than that she couldn't get anything done. So pop, 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 all these little things popping up. Just say no. If you need help, I can help you take the notifications off on there. That might cost you $5. I have to actually think. So, and that's dangerous. So we go from there. The solutions. You can get a spam blocker. I use a spam blocker on my email, and I have it set at different levels. I could say it's probably spam, it's definitely spam, it's something I want to throw away. Okay, but I do have it move into my special fan folder. Like if you're using Gmail, if you're using Yahoo Mail, you can say mark it as junk, and anything from that address from then on will go into your junk mail, and it disappears after 2 weeks if you don't do anything. Now, one of the things that happens when we're doing this is sometimes you'll block something that you want to get. It's called a false, easy to say, false positive. Okay, so that's why a lot of this stuff that is borderline, I put into a special box so I can switch through it. But you can get spam blockers, some are free. All the email programs have one that's pretty limited.
I put one on that I took off the internet. I couldn't get it off. It screamed at whoever it didn't know. So
Yeah, for his phone,
from my phone.
Yeah. So I took it off, but on there, it didn't completely take it off. You actually had to call the company to finish taking it off.
There is a call number if you want.
It's kind of like fine print on anything, like something that none of us ever read. So,
Yeah.
So limit your pop-ups on web. You have the pop-up blockers on there. If you haven't been on a web page, all of a sudden they give you an advertisement on there. You just don't do that. Turn it off and don't allow it unless you know, like it's from the government. You're talking to the VA, you're talking to the IRS. Sometimes they have when I bought my fishing license, they had a pop-up. So I had to disable the pop-up blocker with one click and then re-enable it when I was done. Okay. So, and also in Google and on Google Chrome, there's something called Safe Search. So when you search for something, you can make it child safe and make sure that you do not get anything inappropriate. Okay, Safe Search. Make sure you have an antivirus, and I'm going to say that a lot. Phishing. Phishing is something that, again, I told you about that. They'll send you an email. And in the phishing thing on there, they'll say, I'm from your bank. We need to verify this transaction thing. Please log in here, like American Heritage or First State. Don't ever click on a link in an email that asks for information. Don't ever click on a link in an email that asks for information. On a phone, if somebody calls you and asks for information, and they're saying they're from your bank, don't believe them. Say, okay, hang up, call the number that's officially from the bank, and do that. Okay, because they're just trying to get your information. And they're getting pretty good at that stuff. Okay? So, you can get an email, you can get it from Facebook, you can get it from a web page. And I have examples here, I'm not gonna go through that right now, but a sample phishing attack is, I got an email from, let's say, PayPal. I often use PayPal. And it says, we want to verify the $300 transaction that you sent to Jim Downs. Okay? Well, I don't remember sending anything to Jim Downs. Okay? So, and they want me to click and sign in to PayPal for their webpage. Well, it's not their webpage. They're just trying to get my PayPal login information. So that is, you don't do that. If you're going to get something like that, you get out of the email program, you go into PayPal itself that you go into, or you go into Amazon, or you go into Craigslist, or go into Facebook, wherever you go in that requires a login, do it directly the way you would do it as if you didn't get the email. Always don't ever click on the link or on that type of page that's asking for that information. Also, the banks will never call and ask you for your account number and information. He's going to talk a little bit about Social Security scams right here, so we'll let that go on. So, now ransomware, you get a screen that looks a lot like that or a blue one. It says, we have now coded all your files, taken all your pictures, and made it so you can't see them. Imagine losing all the pictures of your grandchildren over the last 5 years. Okay? Yeah. And don't worry about the numbers on there, it's just saying that you can't break the code. This happened to a hospital in London. All the patient records, they had to pay almost £500,000, which is about $750,000 to get the records back. It happened to the Phoenix Police Department. It happened around here because somebody encoded it. It happened at the college SDG, and they're asking for $50,000, and we decided that the teachers would have to think for 2 weeks, and actually do their own paperwork. So, it encrypts all your files. You get a message that asks for money, and then, or they'll say, imagine the old scams that you used to see on TV. Wouldn't it be terrible if somebody came in here and broke all of your fine china in the shop, your china shop? The old protection records. Remember those on TV and stuff like that? I've never personally run into it. Have you seen it?
Extortion.
Extortion, yeah. Or we'll come in and break your knees kind of thing. Wouldn't it be terrible if you did that then? Okay. For protection, you need antivirus, don't follow phishing sites, backup. Make sure that you have all your pictures somewhere else besides on your computer or all your documents. Again, I don't mean to be scaring you. It's all ways to protect yourself. Some of this stuff makes you nervous. It's okay. I don't mean to make you nervous. I just don't want to make you figure out what you shouldn't be doing. Spyware, that means that somebody's got computers into a program, a virus in your program that is letting everybody know, or it's letting somebody watch everything that you're doing. I typed in my credit card number, they can see that happen. That's a computer program, that's called spyware. If your computer or phone slows down, probably infected or you got too much junk on it. But it's probably infected.
What did I think that spyware, does somebody have to physically go to your computer and put that in there?
They generally fish it. But they'll have somebody, you'll follow a click. Okay. You'll follow a click and it will solve the virus. But that's what's happening when we have spyware.
How do you know it's there?
How do you know if it's there? You play your computer. You should probably do a virus check every once in a while on there. Okay, when I get over to Scareware, I'll talk a little bit more about that, because that's one place where we did it on there. But if you see things like your little mouse thing, you're moving on the screen and you're not doing it, you're not going to see it. It's on my screen, sorry. Okay, but if you see the mouse moving around, that means someone's looking at your computer trying to find stuff.
Another thing we can do with the spyware is actually listen to your microphone and actually view your camera. So if you see the light turn on your camera, somebody's watching.
It's kind of nice now, almost all the new computers have a little twist that you can hide the camera on. Okay.
Hopefully it's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the oldest trick of the book, just piece of tape.
Or don't let certain programs use it. Yeah, when your camera's on, you gotta wear the light safety camera. You can see it. If anybody wants to look at my face while I'm looking at my computer, I feel sorry. So, huh?
I said, that's not him.
Okay, you got to protect yourself. Okay, you run an antivirus. Don't let someone take over your computer unless they are, you're not sure. Somebody will say, oh, I can fix your computer remotely. If you don't know who that person is, and you haven't worked with them, say no. Okay? I do let, when I have a problem, I will let Microsoft into my computer. But I called Microsoft. They did not call me. You only let people you know and trust into your computer. Okay. A worm is a special type of program. It's a virus that looks for all the other computers in your system and tries to put the virus in. Okay. That's fairly easy to protect now, but still you still have to use a good antivirus. Be careful about any emails you forward. Don't just forward something because it has a neat picture in it. Take the picture out, send it in a new email. Okay. Adware. Okay, adware software that displays advertisements. Okay, I talked a little bit about that before. You know, you look for a pillow and all of a sudden you're getting all these pillow ads or things pop up. Okay. You can reduce adware by reduce the number of notifications. Again, remember what I said earlier about notifications? Do not allow it. If you want notifications, no. If you want notifications, no. Make sure you don't do a lot of notifications. They're handy for some things, and not for others. Don't download without checking the reputation of the people that you download the information. If you're using Google Chrome, if you can enable the built-in ad blocker, Microsoft program. Google Chrome is the little red, white, and blue. Three colors in a circle. Okay, what colors are they?
Red, green, yellow.
Red, green, yellow, and blue circle. And then the Microsoft browser is an E that's all blue. Okay. Chrome, Google one has an ad blocker built in, so you have to get one. Tell me some of the antiviruses you get that ad blocker. Scareware. Now, this is one that every other week I've had somebody get scared by something that happened in the screen. What happens you're going to a website. The website may have been hacked, it might have been a perfectly good website, but a message comes up, and it says, we have found 18 viruses on your computer. Call this number to do that. And it seems like your computer is frozen and you can't do anything. It also says, do not turn off your computer. Okay. Well, the first thing you should do on any computer is turn it off. Okay? So I like on this one, I would hold my power button down for 30 seconds to make sure it's turned off. Because if I just push the button, it goes to sleep, and get turned off. If you're using an iPhone or a Surface, you can do that. Now there's another thing that you can do. You're probably not infected, you're just trying to get you to let them get into your computer. Or they're trying to get information from you. So, you're probably not infected, it's just a trick. The website is infected. Now, it may seem to freeze. You can just restart your computer, hold the power button down. Or if you've got a Windows computer, a PC like this one, there's 3 keys you can hold. One is called the control over here. The other one is called Alt, it's right there, and the delete key is up there. Control, Alt, and delete. What happens then is a blue screen pops up, and one of the lines there is Task Manager. And then what you can do is click on Control, Alt. There's the blue screen. Oh,
Here. No, you can flip the laptop. This is the laptop.
they can. No, I'm just gonna talk about it.
It's easier if they have a visual.
I know it's easier than Control, Alt, and delete. A blue screen comes up, one of them says Task Manager, and there's a list of the programs you're running. You just click on the program and click on End Program. He's got it. You can go short too.
It's good.
You have heard that you're allowed to call, charge things.
I know, but I forgot to charge it. It's good.
My wife, with her iPad, which she lives on when she's at home, runs it all the way to the dead battery, and then has to charge it for a while. And then she's complaining because she has to charge it everything, charging it halfway through. And if anybody tells my wife that I said that to Lori, I'll deny it. Okay. I'd like to have the manager select the item that goes, like it could say Chrome, it could say Edge. You just delete that program from the computer, is fine. But the easiest thing to remember is hold the power button down for 30 seconds and then start the computer. That's the easiest. You know that. Okay. One of the things is, Microsoft, Google, none of those companies will put the information on the screen, and none of them will call you. These big companies do not call you. And if you ever call a company for computer support, and they answer right away, that's not a computer company.
You got the wrong number.
You got the wrong number. Okay, if they answer right away, that's probably a bad one. Okay, so what happens is, well, you know, when you, let's just say I've called Verizon. Listen to these options because they may have changed. 1, pay a bill. 2, get technical support. 3, then you push 2, get technical support. Now, is your problem with a phone, or is it with your wireless or your billing? Okay. And you go through all that stuff. That's where then you know you're probably with a valid company. Okay, but if you get somebody actually get a person and you talk to them, probably not a good person. So, it's all yours. We are now into the full phone scam stuff that he's running into. Got a few.
Travis, been in the sheriff's office 19 years, last 3 years doing investigations strictly. Sheriff asked me to come with John to do this, so I just got with some other guys in the office and per EP and kind of went through some of the scams that we've all dealt with over the years. So that's pretty much what that list is. There's 18 on there. I was laying in bed last night, thought of another one that I didn't put on there. So I'll talk about that one too, but has anyone ever heard of IC3.gov? It's through the FBI. It's a website you can go to and online report your scams. Typically, if you do that, there's some scams within 72 hours. If they get reported, they can try to stop the money or save that money before it goes out. Those are generally going to be like your wire transfers. So if you transfer something from your bank to his bank, and then all of a sudden you realize that's a scam, IC3.gov, if you report it, they can try to get that money back. Usually they can within that 3 days, within 72 hours. So, but IC3.gov, they take statistics from all of the stuff, all of the reports that they've had. So I have some of those here from 2022, and this is, I just went with individuals over the age of 60. So in 2022, there was 88,000 reports made on their website, IC3.gov. 88,000 people over the age of 60 made reports. The total losses of those 88,000 was $3.1 billion. So 2021, they had the statistics for that. It's an 84% increase going into 2022. So quite a bit more money was scammed from people. Average dollar per victim, so the reports that they have and people that actually lost money is the average is about $35,000 each person. So 5,400. What's that?
I said I ain't got that much.
So people that lost over $100,000, there was almost 5,500 people that lost that much. So, and they go from the scams are all over there. The internet scams, phone scams. You buy something on Facebook and you send money PayPal and you never get your product. All the stuff like that. So there's a lot of that's what the scams are important. So this is, like I said, I'll go through the list. I have some examples. I'll talk about some life situations that we've dealt with or tried to capture money from, but haven't been successful. Most common one, you guys may have all had this call. Hey, Grandma, it's me. And what do you say? Gabe, is that you?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Always one.
So, I, as a scammer, I don't know who Gabe is. I don't know Gabe's name. He just gave me Gabe's name.
Yeah.
Because he said, "Oh, Gabe, is that you?" "Yeah, Grandpa, it's me, Gabe." Well, we don't think about it. We care about our kids, our grandkids. We want to help Gabe, right? Gabe's in trouble in California, got in a car crash, killed someone, or got stopped in a car and had a bunch of dope in there, marijuana, drugs, whatever. Gabe's lawyer needs money to get him out of jail, right? That's what they're trying to get you to pay. So you may even be on that phone conversation with who you believe is Gabe, and then Gabe's going to turn you over to who you think is now his lawyer, right? So they're going to want to try to get you to send money to help Gabe out. Easiest thing to do, hang up the phone, call Gabe's mom, right? Or call Gabe himself.
My daughter knows them.
So,
And my grandson works for them. They're business.
so if something like that happened, he would call his daughter, and his son Gabe would be standing right there next to mom. So we would know that Gabe's not in trouble in California, right?
But my sister, 2 years back, had a call like this guy. And my son, her nephew was supposed to be in Spain. He got in trouble in Spain. And my sister, stupid as she just kept talking to him and giving more and more information. And, she just could have called me and say, well, is Mike around? And, yeah, he was, yeah, Minnesota wasn't,
Yeah, they get you to believe, and they're real good about it, keeping you on the phone too. They don't want you to hang up on it. They wanna keep you on the phone, cause they don't want you to make that call to whoever, Gabe or whoever. So they will definitely try to keep you on the phone, and they're real convincing. Sometimes I've had people tell me it sounded just like my grandson that I was talking to. So that's the main one that we come across. And IRS is one of the ones that comes along quite a bit, especially around tax time. IRS calls you, you owe on taxes, we're gonna come arrest you, we're gonna have local law enforcement come to your house, throw you in jail because you failed to pay your taxes, you need to take care of this. I've gone to scams like that. I was telling this one earlier. A lady called us, I think I was being scammed by the IRS, so I went to her house, her phone rings, so I'm like, let me answer it. So I answer it, and they said that they're the IRS, they're gonna come arrest her. And I said, you guys said law enforcement, I'm here. I am law enforcement. And the phone just clicked. The phone hung up on me. I don't know why they hung up on me. They wanted me to take her to jail. But yeah, that's one of the, if you do get something like that, obviously you guys probably, maybe you do your own taxes online, or you have some kind of financial advisor. You know, there's Merch right in town, he does a lot of tax and stuff. Call them up. Hey, I got this call. Don't give out any information on that stuff.
or they'll put something on your phone too, that you owe something, or would you please give me your information because the package that was sent on such and such a date was supposed to arrive, and we need your information.
That just happens.
The IRS usually never calls.
No, typically, and I say typically, because, but they're changing. These scams are always changing. So I don't want to say they won't call. I've never heard of them calling.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean moving forward,
Yeah.
they're not going to start calling. But
They always send you a letter.
they will send you a letter, yeah, and that's why, you know, something like that, you need to go to your tax advisor with, and I got this in the mail kind of thing. A big one that we've had, was it 2 years ago now? All the troops were pulled out of Afghanistan. We got a lot of calls, and we're still getting them. Actually, my partner just got an email from someone. I'm a veteran, I'm stuck in Afghanistan, I need money to get home. Or, I'm home now, but my property is still in Afghanistan, I need help getting that home. So that's a big one that we've had. The one to my partner was, they emailed him on our work email, and said, yeah, they had property at gold bars in Afghanistan, they wanted help getting their gold bars home. So, obviously that was the one, we need to get rid of that one, but, so pop-up screens, John talked a lot about those. They want you to click on some link, and you pay them money to fix your computer for them.
There's advertisements out there too. There are various different sheriff's departments in Texas, New Mexico, and Florida that are calling you to donate to their cause. And there was another guy who was running for office in Texas that wanted money for his campaign to run against so-and-so. And I could not get his name off of my computer. Maybe it was there. If I ever clicked on it, he'd be right there.
So what I think Jim is saying, any charity, double
Yes.
check to make sure it's the real charity.
The real one, yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, great to give to the Broward Fire Department, and Todd County Sheriff, it's fun.
I always ask them, I get a lot of ones from, like, police and fire, Minnesota police and fire, whatever. And I always ask them what percentage of the donation goes to the company. And, you know, if they don't tell you, they have to tell you. And usually it's like 10%. Well, that doesn't make sense to me then. When you get
No, it doesn't.
a big chunk of money, you only get 10% of what I'm donating to. So, big one, I just had, romance scams, online dating. You know, people go to some of these websites, meet someone online. Next thing you know, you're texting them back and forth or calling them. This particular one, it would, put a news release out about it, if you guys didn't hear about it, but, it's been going on 3 years, this relationship. Guy lives in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, so down by the cities. In 3 years, they've never met. She's tried to make arrangements to go down there. Well, he's a jewelry dealer or salesman that repairs jewelry. Every time, he's been in Africa fixing jewelry, he's been in Texas fixing jewelry. She thinks he's in Texas right now fixing jewelry. But, it starts to lead into, I had a bad deal with a customer, I'm out of the country, I'm out of the state, I can't pay them or I can't fix their stuff. Can you go on your phone, go to Cash App, that's an application on your phone, and send my client some money? Well, she's already been burned for $20,000 before, so she knows kind of what's going on, so she just, oh, it won't work, it doesn't work, I can't get logged in, or, she's kind of stringing them along, which I told her don't do that anymore, but I don't think she's gonna listen to me, but yeah, then it was, I need you to cash some stuff, I'm gonna send you some stuff, so she sends it through the post office, has a completely other, name on these money orders from someone in Indiana. She's supposed to cash them at her bank, keep a little portion for herself, and turn the rest into Bitcoin. So I don't know if any of you guys know what Bitcoin is. It's digital currency.
It's called cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin is the biggest one.
Yeah, that's the
It's
big
like
one.
$36,000 per coin now.
Yeah. Is that what it went up to now? That's how much, up to 16?
No, 3,600.
Oh, really? Well, 16,000.
Yeah, it's dropped a lot. I had a chance to buy it for 50 cents. I didn't. But also, the cryptocurrency is not backed by any government.
And
It's 31K right now.
3,100?
31,000
31,000 now?
per coin.
Really? Oh, wow. Well, there's a, you guys are familiar with ATM machines, you go push a card and pull some money out of the ATM. They have those kiosks now. They're Bitcoin machines. You can go there and put cash in there and change it into Bitcoin. So, a lot of our scams are actually turning into that, where they want you to take your cash and not, give cash out. They want you to turn it to Bitcoin, you give them a redemption code. They go in on their end with that redemption code and just take the Bitcoin and just move it to wherever. And we can't track that, it's tough to track that, so. But that's what a lot of them are going to now.
What do you think of the Bitcoin? I've heard of it, and I just appreciate my head all the time.
It's useful for some things, but because of the hidden trail of it, it's hard to track. I'd say 40 to 50% of it is illegal work or pornography.
I've never
So
used an
not
ATM
the
machine.
Bitcoin itself.
It's just the people that use it.
Yeah, the people that use it are sketchy people because it's non-traceable.
Okay, now the other thing is, just to let you know, there's a thing out there called the dark web. 80% of all websites are not searchable by Google. You have a special program called Tor, which jumps you through about 8 different countries before it hits to the spot you're at. And I can get on the dark web and I can do a search for social security numbers and credit card numbers and pay for them and get a lot of the hacked Target credit card numbers, a lot of the hacked, Target got hacked a few years ago. I can buy those online. I can buy your phone number online through the dark web. So, but to do that, I have to have Bitcoin.
Yeah. Everything goes through Bitcoin.
Everything goes to Bitcoin.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of these guys, these bad guys, they want you to change your cash into Bitcoin and give them a redemption code to make those payments that you owe. And then as soon as that Bitcoin goes through,
Countries do that too. North Vietnam, not North Vietnam, North Korea, stole a huge bundle of money from the bank. And it was all Bitcoins. They're supposed to be backward.
One smart guy there.
Somebody knew.
So this one here received threats on your family's life. You took a phone call, you owe us, we're gonna kill all your family if you didn't pay us. It ended up being, this is not my particular case, but, $480,000. Between cash they had at home that they stored and then gold coins and gold bars and stuff like that. It got to be so much that the scammer actually sent someone from Georgia here to help deposit the money into the Bitcoin machines because it got to be too much for our victim. And with the gold coins and stuff, when we downloaded this lady's phone, we could see pictures that she had taken of the gold coins in the trunk, so she could send them to the scammer to prove to them that he's paying up, she's paying up to save her family or whatever it was. So, yeah, and then of all things, the gold gets sent to like Texas or something. So you got Georgia, Texas, Minnesota, who all those might be wrong.
I've never seen a Bitcoin machine. Where are they?
Coburn's has one in Long Prairie.
Really?
Brainerd has a bunch. Wadena has some. Walmart and Sauk Center has them. All your big stores are gonna have them because guess what? They get a little cut too, So yeah, right in Coburn's in Long Prairie.
Where's it located?
In between. So if you come in the entry,
Yeah.
and then you got like customer service over here and all the checkouts. It's right in front of the checkouts, right against the outside wall.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little green machine, it's about this wide, and right about that tall, it's got a screen on it, it says, cash coin on it. Cash coin is what they're called. Yeah. We don't put any money in there, please.
No,
Okay?
no,
Alright.
It's scary.
I think we touched on this one already, they call you and wanna confirm your purchase on Amazon or something, they're just fishing for information. Don't give anything at all. This was a big one back when I started, Publishers Clearinghouse. What do you think, said? Yeah, they've gone through, 19 years I've seen these things. Yeah, you won, but you gotta send.
They won't give me nothing.
Yeah, they won't give you nothing because you gotta pay the taxes on it, right? So they want you to go to your bank
Something like that, yeah.
and withdraw a couple $1,000s to pay the taxes, and then they'll send you your million, right? Yeah, obviously if it's
They
too
go
good.
back 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, if it's too good to be true, it's generally not gonna be true. One recent one we had, it was kind of a weird one. Lady gets a phone call. Hey, we found your driver's license. We lost your driver's license. We need you to confirm your information. Name, date of birth, address, all that stuff. Simply looking at your wallet to see if you have your license would be sufficient. But what it was they're fishing for information.
Question back here.
Yes.
I've got a couple of times I've got unclaimed money or something, you can get, it'll come as an email, and you can go to this website and type in your name, and for unclaimed money.
Like an inheritance, if someone died or something.
Yeah,
like
or
inheritance.
let's say you overpaid something or whatever, and you didn't ask for a refund or something, but, yeah, I just wondered, if that website is legal or not.
I won't claim on anything.
In my experience, most of the time when I pay something and it ends up being less than what I paid, they'll usually just cut me a check and send it on.
They'll mail you back.
And then I'll get a hefty check for $2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost more,
Okay.
cost more postage. But yeah, they're typically gonna mail you something back out if you overpay. So, or if it's a website or something, then you just have a balance there.
Yeah.
You have a credit, so to
Okay.
speak.
First thing you do, you get a website that there's unclaimed money, and you just wanna search to see if you have it, put somebody else's name in, and see what questions they have.
John Peters.
Yeah. Okay, I'll write that down.
Okay, and if there is unclaimed money there, have it sent directly to me.
You did your 10%.
And I can,
We all get these ones, our vehicle warranty is expired, right? If we bought a car, we know it has a warranty, it's through GM, it's through Ford, it's through whoever, right? I don't know why they would call you and want you to verify information to them about the car they're calling you about that you have insurance, or a warranty on through them, right? It doesn't make any sense. So what I typically do with those calls is I mess with them, tell them I got an E2 Volkswagen Rabbit or a, Pontiac GTO 1960 on it, I have a 23 Tesla,
That's what I say, I was like, I just bought a 2022 Corvette.
Yeah.
How is it off the insurance, like off the warranty order?
You have Corvette too?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually they'll hang up on you right away. I mean, they know you're kind of, they're fishing for information. They want you to give them stuff. Collection agencies have called people or mailed them information. They look pretty official. They'll steal, real companies' letterheads and stuff like that, and they'll send in, you owe, one guy was $7,500 on a MasterCard that he had. He called us up. I started looking into it. And first question I asked, did you ever even have a MasterCard? Never owned a credit card in my life. So how do you own a MasterCard? You owe a MasterCard $7,500. Everything you bought is cash, or wrote a check for it. So they're just looking for you to call them. The number on there is typically going to be a spoof number. And you're gonna need to, like John said, you're gonna push 1 or 2 or 3 to talk to this party or whatever. Someone answers right away and generally not really.
Just to make sure, tell them what to do if somebody says, is your name Travis?
Oh, so yeah, if you get a call and if they say, if I say hello, is this Travis? If I don't know the number, I'll never say yes, because they'll record me saying yes, and then they can use that recording to do other things later, like verify different purchases, not mine, but they have Travis saying yes on another call that they might try to purchase, like with a stolen credit card or something like that, so.
Yeah, just like one of those, like, day ago, they called it, like, saying something, like, can you hear me all right? I'm like,
Yeah. I just say who's asking, or, might be, I don't know. I never say yes, so.
Kinda hard not to sometimes.
Yeah, it is, but, on your caller ID is on your phone, if you don't recognize the number,
Oh, yeah, that's get on there.
yeah. Do you have a home phone or a cell phone?
Both phone,
Home phone?
mostly,
Another thing, like with cell phones, if a number pops up, it'll give you some kind of potential risk, spam kind of phone number, you know what I'm talking about. John has Alexa in his house.
Yeah.
What do you know what that is? You can, Alexa, start playing this music or whatever, it's just through your house. John could say, Alexa, call Travis. Well, if it does that, and he has me as a contact through his phone, it's gonna ring on mine and say like Chicago, someone from Chicago or New York is calling me. So if I don't recognize that number,
How about Blythe, California?
nope, I don't know anybody there. So what I say is if a number pops up on your phone and you don't know who it is, let it go through the voicemail. If it's someone legitimately needing to talk to you, they're going to leave you a voicemail. It could be John on his Alexa wanting to have me call him, and he's gonna leave me a voicemail to that. Bought something on social media site, this just happened not too long ago. Also, they wanted him to make payment through wire transfer. He didn't get to us within that 72 hours, money's gone. It was for a skid loader in another state. It was $24,000. So, I'm not a farmer, I don't have a skid loader, but I know a 2019 skid loader nowadays is not gonna be $24,000. It's gonna be like $60,000. Typically, if they're too good to be true, on a social media website or eBay or wherever you might buy something, it's probably going to be a scam. So, and I don't know, if I was gonna buy a skid loader, I'd probably wanna go drive it and test it out, see how the tires are and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to California, they had arrangements to get shipped to them and everything, it was sweet deal.
probably get in here and drive it.
From here to the house.
Yeah. Bring it here and I'll give you a check. Yeah, bring it here and I'll give you a check, how's that sound? So people like to post on social media, you know, that we were in Florida or we were wherever, we had a great time on the beach and we ate at this restaurant. Next thing you know, you're getting a call from the local police department down there, hey, you got a warrant for your arrest. You were down here in Florida, we know you were here in Florida, you need to pay this or we're gonna have local law enforcement come arrest you. That's why I say be cautious about posting all your family stuff on social media sites, but typically, they're not gonna call you and give you a heads up that you have a warrant and take care of this by phone. They're gonna call us, and we're gonna go to your house and probably try to find you and make things right, and collect the money for the bail, if it's legit.
I have a Facebook page just for my family who came from Ireland, from Milltown, Mulvey, County Clare. And I must have something like 100 people on it, and most of it is my work, right? And I put a lot out there. The relatives don't share much except a picture of maybe a get-together or something else. But, you know, for all the time that I've been on it, it must be about 4 years now, I've never had anybody, crack into it.
So how hard would it be for your friends with John on Facebook, right? So, remember we talked about this earlier, the fake John that sends you another request even though you've already been friends with him for 5 years?
Well, I won't accept anybody I don't know. And if I'm already a friend of theirs,
Yeah, but
Scammers, they get a hold of your information,
Yeah,
like
they
your
do.
Gmail account or your account and stuff like that.
So somebody just got something like that from me and I didn't send it to them.
Yeah, they got a
So
hold
what
of,
does that mean with my account then?
someone got a hold of your
What should
information.
I do?
Reset your passwords,
No.
change your stuff.
She's been spoofed. What has happened is they found your picture somewhere, and they put it on Facebook, because I know there are probably 1,000 John Petersons in the US or more, okay? So they found my picture, they put it up there, they sent it to me. Okay, you can't do anything about it. What I would do is I would tell my friends that I'm changing my picture. If it's not this new picture, it's not me. The other thing is, tell everybody should know this. If you get a friend request from anybody on Facebook, click on the picture that they have there, whether it's a real picture or one of those things that just looks like a profile, and find out if there are actually any of your friends are on that Facebook. If they have any pictures, do they have anything like that? Don't accept a friend request without checking. Make sure it's really them.
No, I never do, I never do.
So,
But I just know my daughter said she just got a funny message from me on Messenger and she said, I know it wasn't you, and I've gotten funny messages from other people, and I know it's not them.
yeah,
Because you know them and you know they don't write like that.
Yeah,
They're gonna be talking like that too.
most of them are gonna be like what he said. The one I know of, they actually got a hold of her information and friend requested all of her contacts, right? And the next thing you know, her credit card had got compromised and she was starting to get stuff shipped to her house that she had purchased or shipped
How
other
would they
places
get
too.
their number?
If you had it linked to some account, if you paid, you know, everybody links everything to everything on their phones, and so you can go online and bill pay and all that stuff, you know.
I don't
And
do
she
that
might have
on
clicked,
Facebook.
she might have clicked on something.
Again, they were probably fish. Somebody clicked on something and gave all your information to you.
Yeah.
Okay?
I
Or
don't have any information on Facebook though, I just don't.
but
put much
they don't
on
have it,
there.
it could be on your computer. Anything that's in your computer, I can get a hold of it if you let me in the door. Think of it like a vampire. A vampire can't come in the house unless you invite them in. You do something to invite them in and they can start doing things
Yeah.
on your computer, you get that information. Spyware, we talked about that.
Yeah, but I
Phishing.
don't click on any of that stuff.
Okay,
Like, for example, see, I have clients that I fix their computer at home. They give me access so I can go. Obviously, I'm not doing it on anything bad, with any bad intention, but if I want to do it with bad intention, all I have to do is get in the computer and then just browse through the computer, get all the information, credit cards, phone numbers, IDs, everything they have linked on the computer and saved on the computer, and just use it everywhere else. Like they can do that.
And I have a quick question for everybody. You go to a restaurant, and the waiter comes and takes your credit card. What do they do with it?
You don't know.
You don't
We don't know. I'll take it to the back room, and they could scan the information. I could scan this, get all the information. Sure. Because I gotta check with her, I gotta scan it. And you don't know that, so again, make sure you know who you are, don't do anything stupid. And don't give information to somebody that may, be bad.
How about gas, getting gas?
Gas paid at the pumps.
That's what I-
Yeah, so they, you know, they put the fancy tape on there, you know, that makes it look like no one opened it up. Well, I went to a training in the BCA, they had pictures of keys and that tape that they took from someone's house that they had bought off the line. So that was their thing, they would just buy a key, they're all universal keys kind of. And then they had the same exact tape, so they would unlock the gas pumps, put the chip reader in there, shut the gas pump, put new tape over it, go away for a month, come back, do the same thing, pull that chip reader out of there, go back, print it off cards with your little chip in them. You can buy chips, the cards with the chips in them right off of Amazon, you can buy 100 of them if you want. You can stamp them and put the numbers right on there.
I've used that once, and by the time I got to work the next morning, my account was empty. It changed my name, my address,
I'll pay at the pump.
yeah.
Actually now, so I used to go, well, I'm not gonna pay at the pump, I'll go inside. Now on Amazon, you can go and buy, way right over the machines inside.
Right.
Numbers and everything matches, it just pops up a little bit, so it's a little bigger, so you put your card in there, steal all your data right off there, they come back a month later, pop that thing up. I've seen them on video, we watched the video of like a Holiday gas station, they'll distract the clerk, oh, you got a pack of cigarettes and that. So the clerk's looking this way, the next person, boom, they jam a card in there 3 times, that way they know the date and time. And they walk out the door after they pay, they come back a month later, take their thing, got all your information, got the last 30 days worth of credit cards.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. So I pay with cash, so.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I do it wireless.
What's that?
I do it wireless. I don't put my card in.
You don't think it's scanner or cash out?
There's a slight chance.
They say that if you find them, so I go in, if I do have to use my card, which is where I'll grab the machine and just try to pull it hard.
And wiggle it a little bit and see if it pops
See if
out.
there's a scanner on there, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So if you ever do find one, call us, don't touch it, because there's DNA on there from the back, so. Recent one was, Attorney General had called, something had been compromised, they needed access to their computer, so they gave them the information and logged on remotely. They created an online account with the person's, help the person create an online account. Basically what it was is their retirement account had been compromised, and they needed to move the money from their retirement account into this new online account that these FBI guys helped them make. So then the instructions were from there to take the money out of that online account, go to the bank, get it in a Bitcoin. Bank was like, no, we're not putting all your money into a Bitcoin. So then the guys were good. They kept their, well, the bank won't work with you, then you need to go to a different bank. Closed that account, took all the money to a new bank, opened that one, they won't let her do Bitcoin. She just wrote a check out and sent it to Oregon. So she could get into this new retirement, we use new para, over in Oregon, so, yeah. Another recent one, it wasn't too far from here, let's say Shirley's gas station in town here, gets a call, hey, we're from the Secret Service, there's counterfeit ring going on, we need you to close the doors right now, cut all the business off, take all the cash out of the safe, out of your till, and everything, and go to the bank and cash that into, well, actually not the bank, but, go to Dollar General, let's say, turn that into gift cards. So that's all probably counterfeit money that you guys have there. You need to go get that, into some gift cards right now and give us the numbers. So the lady, she was just an employee, not the boss. She did as they asked. She ended up losing her job because she didn't contact the bosses to.
When did that happen?
When?
Yeah.
It was a couple months ago. Not in our county, up in,
No, it wasn't Shirley's.
No, it wasn't, sure. I was just using that as an example, so.
Okay.
It was like a
Oh,
truck.
that's my daughter's gas station.
No. Oh, is Taylor your daughter?
No, my daughter, Ann's my daughter.
Oh, okay.
She's like,
No, that
she's
wasn't.
kinda sold it to Taylor for now.
No,
I was just using that as an example. It was actually in Ottertail County, a truck stop in Ottertail County. It was a convenience store truck stop down here. Yeah, they called and said, hey, we're running this thing right now. You got a bunch of counterfeits there. You need to take all that money and go buy gift cards and give us the numbers. So,
keyword gift card.
gift card.
Anybody says gift card, say, no.
Gift card and Bitcoin.
No.
If a government agency wants your money, they're not going to have you pay for it.
They can give it up with my money.
Like gift card or Bitcoin, I can tell you that, so.
They're trying to tell you that, hang on. I got scammed for $6,000. With gift cards.
Get that statistic that you gave this morning.
What's that?
You gave a couple statistics this morning. Go ahead and give these people that statistics about seniors.
I did already, yeah,
Yeah, this,
or 60,
5,000 average
35,000 average, yeah, so yeah.
people, average.
I don't understand gift cards, like, why would anybody think that that would be a good thing to do?
Cause I can't track them.
yeah,
Well,
why-
I know you can't track them, but the person that goes and buys them because they're told to, why would you do that? Why would you go buy a
Well,
gift
they're
card?
gonna protect your money.
What?
They're gonna protect your money.
Or they have you convinced they're that good that you think what they're telling you is the truth, so you're gonna go help your grandson or your, you know.
Right.
That's a strange way to give people money,
Yeah,
gift
well,
cards.
It is, but like, for
A really
example,
strange way.
yeah, like he was saying, if I was doing it, for example, to you, and I told you, you know, gave me $10,000 on Amazon gift cards, he can't track them. I can still use them and get a whole bunch of stuff.
If I was gonna
and
give
resell
you,
them.
if I was gonna give you $10,000, I'd probably get you on my order or write you.
But that's
Yeah.
trackable.
What?
That's trackable.
I know, but she wouldn't, she's saying
Yeah.
that, she's saying she's smart enough to not do that.
But there's a lot of people that are not gonna
Yeah, when they was calling you about that,
It's
They
just
wanna be
something
invited.
strange that some of
Every
the
time I go past the
No,
back of them,
no.
I usually get angry.
I strung them along a while, but then I find that.
There are, one example I gave earlier, there are some gift cards that we can track. There is very rare. Vanilla gift card is a new one that's coming out that we can track. I mean, they've been around for a while, but, now with everything changing, we're able to track them a little bit now. Usually they're getting, the money on the other end is getting taken out somewhere in another country that we can't track. This particular case, I was able to see, I had a name of a business and an address and a phone number in Florida. So I Googled that business, and it was some lawn care, business is what it said. But when I called them, is that legitimate looking good? I mean, look at these setup they had. So when I called them, it's actually like a third-party shipping company out of Florida, run by Jamaican people that have family or friends or whatever in Jamaica. So what they were doing is they would have to pay these gift cards. They would then transfer it to this guy in Florida. He would exchange it and then send it down to Jamaica. Well, I can't go to Jamaica and go arrest the bad guy. That's why a lot of them are going out of the country, because we have no jurisdiction, so we can't do anything about it. I ended up calling that guy, and I said, hey, I'm gonna call the authorities in Florida and come talk to you, because you scam some people. Everything's showing that you scam my people in here. And he's like, no, we don't do it, we'll take care of it. The next day or 2 days later, my people had the money back on their gift card.
They did.
Yeah. I'm guessing that guy didn't want the authorities, they were snooping around his place. But what they were running to a little bit was stolen credit cards. You buy something here, ship it down to Florida, this guy ships it to Jamaica. He was an innocent party, he claimed, like he didn't know what was going on, but you can't tell me he don't know what's going on, right? So he definitely didn't want the cops snooping around his place, so he made it right with my people here, just to keep himself off the hook down there. That's another one too, we've had, people using credit cards to buy stuff here, stolen credit card number. By the time the companies realize that the number's been stolen or compromised, the property's long gone. It was, 4 snowblowers and our little go out there, they stole a credit card, they took it over the phone, some guy from the cities drives up, picks them up, he's back down there the same day. Well, 10 days later, when the credit card company realized, hey, this money's stolen, where are our snowblowers? I don't know. I mean, they're still out there somewhere, I didn't think the computer's stolen, but they're long gone. Yeah.
4 snowblowers in Jamaica, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if those ones went down to Florida or not.
I love it.
I don't know if they went down there or not, but.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Jamaica that had the
Bobsled
bobsled team?
Yeah.
Out of the Winter Olympics.
This is a real one. It was, I don't know if it was so much a scam, but just something to be aware of. A lady, her husband had passed away, and if you Google search anybody that's passed away, you can pull up their obituary from the, the funeral home or whatever. They'll usually post that stuff online. Some inmate, he was legitimately in prison in Minnesota, found her information, sent her a letter saying, hey, this is me, I made mistakes, I'm in prison, I just need a friend, can we be friends? Well, she never responded back. She came to us, I found the guy, and I called that prison, and I'm like, hey, what's up with this guy, And she's like, happens all the time. They trade ramen noodles for each other's information, all kinds of stuff. What he was doing was he was looking to befriend this lady, and eventually she would be sending him, or he would want her to send money to or to his friend or anyone else actually. So.
Do people in prison, are they allowed to have, say, cell phones and computers?
In our jail, yes, they do. They don't have them all the time. They can request one, and then they can text on it, but they can't call on it. They can text you, and you can text back. It costs per message or whatever. But we do have video calling too. So you could if you put money in my account, I could buy a card, I could use the phone and call you. But all that stuff's recorded too, so we have copies of all of that, yeah. So that could happen.
We were sitting over at Hilltop Coffee, and a lady came into the restaurant, coffee shop, and she was looking really very down. And she was asking for money. She had just gotten out of jail, she said, and she didn't have a car, and she couldn't use. She didn't have a cell phone, and that she needed money in order to be able to contact so-and-so, Staples, and get where she was from. Yeah, it's difficult to trust.
Yeah, we try to give
I help people that I know, or that I feel, I would have, but, there were a group of us. Yeah, really. But I think she was in with the drugs too, she looked like she was really
Today?
No, this is a couple years ago. Remember that, John?
No, I wasn't there.
Okay, no, he wasn't.
Anybody in business owner? No, you said you got hired.
It's her station. I still think it's her station.
So I'm gonna use her as an example, okay? Let's say she buys gas from a gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or where does she get her gas?
Marathon now, she said it
Marathon.
through Marathon.
So Marathon calls her up, or actually Marathon emails her an invoice. You owe us $10,000 for last month's gas, right? And he sends a check, right? A couple days later, she gets another invoice from Marathon saying, hey, you stole us money. So Andy calls them. The number that's on this new invoice, right? She calls me and says, yeah, we're having bank issues, we understand that you sent the check, we haven't got it yet, we can't even put it in our bank anyways. We need you to wire transfer, just the payment, just wire transfer it to us. So what does Andy do? She wants to take care of her debt, right? She goes and takes the wire transfer number to a local bank, transfers the money out to pay her debt, right? Really happened in one of the cities in our county. The second email that came through was exactly like the first one. They had hacked into the system, got a copy of that, changed the little routing number in the bank on the bottom. So instead of sending it to where it really should have gone, I went to a different bank in another state, and then.
You trust that the company you're working with is gonna make that right? No, I mean, when you send.
Oh, you would trust that second email, yeah.
Paying a double payment, you trust that the
Yeah,
first one is
yep.
gonna be canceled out.
That's why they had called them and said, hey, I mailed the check, it should be there. I mailed it like a week. Oh yeah, well, we're having bank issues, we can't check the bank, just want to transfer. So I tracked that from Alabama to Kentucky to 4 different banks in Kentucky. And then I followed it from there, going into Bitcoin, so.
That's why you don't use the phone numbers on the emails that you get, or, you know, especially the emails.
Look up the number yourself if you call them.
It was identical. I mean, there was not even a semicolon or period off of the whole email. The only difference was that bank and that routing number on the bottom left hand corner. I looked the whole thing over, and that was perfect.
And the phone number.
Oh yeah, the phone number was on too. So red flags, you know, they want to keep you on the line. That's a major one. They never want you to hang up on it because they want to hear that the transaction's going through. They're very persistent that you don't tell anybody about it. What that does is that buys them at least that 72 hours where we can't track the money anymore. If they tell you, you know, keep this a secret, it's not until one of the children or something comes along later and realizes that, hey, what happened? Then they call us and we're already a week behind sometimes, so. Yeah, gift cards are huge. Never put money onto a gift card. The major ones are vanilla, Apple iTunes, Google cards. Those are all, you know, major ones, and there's a whole kiosk. There's thousands of them at the store. You go to any Dollar General or whatever, there's just a big stand full of all these gift cards. So,
But if you keep doing it over, several cards, then their computer stop. They don't do it anymore. There are no more transactions.
so a lot of like the clerks at Dollar General, you know, or wherever. Well, they're getting better.
Are they?
Yeah, they're getting better. So, do you know where you're sending these to? You know, why do you need 10 gift cards worth $500 each? So they're starting to question banks. Just, you know, the same teller that you might use, Star Bank, that been going there for 20 years. You know, they're gonna know you. Well, why are you pulling out $15,000 cash? What do you need that for? You know, I mean, they're not gonna ask you that, but do you know where? Oh, you know, I mean, they're just gonna be inquisitive and try to question you so you don't make a mistake. We've had that. Like, lady goes to the bank, pulls out a bunch of cash. They ask her about it. I just need it for whatever. Puts it in an envelope, ships it to a P.O. box in Georgia. You know, because that was the veteran, the one that needed help getting back from Afghanistan. Goes to a P.O. box in Georgia. We can track that down. Who has the P.O. box? But typically, they're like a middleman. They keep a cut. The rest goes in duffel bags full of cash to Africa.
You got about 5 minutes left here?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of to the end here, unless anybody has any questions or anything. I can.
Before we start asking questions, I'm gonna pass the sheet around. I get reimbursed by the state for the materials that I use to do these things. On here, I need to prove that I have people here. And I'd like to have you write your name, whether you found this useful, and if you come to something like this again. Okay, that's all I need. At the bottom, I have my phone number. If you want the handout, my slides, you can just give me a call. I'm not trying to print them out, let's say, people actually want them. And then also, if you have any questions, you can call me about any of this stuff, okay? And I'm pretty sure you can call him, well, not necessarily directly him, but
Sheriff's office, 24
Sheriff's
hours a day.
office, so I'm gonna pass this around and like to have you fill this out.
On the last page, I put 5 websites on there. So that IC3.gov, those are the ones for the wire transfer, within 72 hours, you can try to they've had pretty good success at recapturing that money. If it's after 72, they haven't had much luck. But, yeah, so if something happens, report it online. It helps with statistics and stuff like that. And, I've heard stories where they've been able to put cases together in other countries, they had multiple things going to the same area. They were able to get with the authorities there, and, that's gonna be above the local level here, that's gonna be like FBI, some type stuff, but, so if they have those statistics, they can fill in that way, so. A lot of good information on those websites, just that you can read through and look through, so.
So you get on a card or something, put your number on?
Yeah. So this one will have my direct line on it. It'll have my direct line on it, but there's just a general number to the sheriff's office there, the 2157.
How do you have a contact, still call use?
Well, you would have to report it in order to. Yeah, if you're in the
line.
Yeah, it's jurisdictional issues.
Now, another thing, everybody, I'll be here for a while. If anybody has any type of computer question they want to get answered, that's management, I better find out. Tell her I'll call her back. I don't know, put her back for me.
Why don't we put some here?
I've actually talked to the sheriff, I'm gonna bring it to, I'm gonna have to doctor it up a little bit, and bring it to the local newspapers and just have them put out an article.
Okay. Anyway, any computer or phone questions that you want me to answer, I can work on that for a little bit. He can work on that a little bit. It's just completely separate from the SCAMS training. But I really appreciate you coming here on this. I'm willing to do almost anything to help. And, I've been around a little bit, first got computers in '67, so I know a little bit. So, may not be smart, but I'm saying. So, we'll go from there, and, I'll be up here. I gotta turn this off for.
Real life.